Let's be honest, let's be real, let's be realistic. We can't just save our money. We have to also treat ourselves. Hey babes, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda Kate. You hear crunching in the back, that's my dog eating. Every time I film, Gucci eats for some reason. My TV's on the floor. My IKEA box is in the background because my boyfriend is gonna build the TV stand, so ignore that. I thought that this was kind of just fitting for the type of video I'm trying to make today. So I'm trying to do a budgeting video, but just very relaxed, very laid back. We're just chilling, we're just hanging out, and I'm gonna teach you some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way, just what works for me, and hopefully you can take from this something that works for you. So let's get into it. I wrote a few things down here, so I'm just gonna kind of go through them. And this, I want you guys to know, is coming from someone who's just normal. Like, I'm just like a normal citizen. This is not like buy my crypto whatever. This is not going to be about investments. This is just going to be how I budget and how I recommend budgeting and how to save money or how to pay down debt or whatever you're trying to do with your extra money and how to actually have that extra money. So I will also link a video that I've done, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 years ago, and it was my personal story, how I managed to save enough money to buy my own home and to buy a car cash at 24 years old in only 5 years. And that was working literally regular jobs. So I had retail jobs and then I got a career after I finished school. What I really want to preface with is it is never too late to start. You guys can hear Rhea in the back, but she's in her room. She's just like chatty. So if you hear a little baby. Other point I want to make is that your savings is only as good as you make it. So this entire process can be done, but it depends if you use it and it depends how aggressive you are. So the more aggressive you are with your savings, the more you're going to save, obviously. This all depends on you. It's kind of like having a sales job where you only make money if you sell something. This is entirely based on you. So you really reap what you sow, whatever the saying is, but you are the determining factor of if this is going to work or not. And if you write a beautiful budget and it's color coded and it looks great, if you are not following it, then it's for nothing. Last but not least, I want you to make this fun. So if you are not having fun with it, you're gonna fall off of it, you are not gonna follow through, and it's just gonna suck. That's what happened to me anyway, so I had to find ways to make it fun. Whether this is like a savings challenge, like this week I'm gonna save $10, and then the next week I'm gonna save $20, and I'll see if I can grow it every week. Or you can do a savings challenge with other people, so both try to save as much as you can at the end of the month, and whoever saves the most money, the other one has to buy them a coffee. I don't know, I just made that up, but you know what I mean. You have to make it fun for it to stick. So make it like a game. Humans love games, and it's just something that is embedded in us. So if you make it fun, there's a lot more chance that you're gonna stick to it. There are a ton of apps that you can use, obviously, for this. You can also write it on paper, which is what I'm gonna do for you guys today. Last time I made this type of video, I was using Mint. Unfortunately, Mint shut down, so I am looking for a budgeting app myself. So as you guys can see, this video is separated in chapters. Now let's get into the first one, being the budget. Boring word. Budget to me is just like sitting down for hours, writing out all of your bills and everything that you have to pay, and you're just thinking, I'm never gonna be able to afford anything. Oh my goodness. That can be your reality, but it doesn't have to be. So let's do a budget together. Now I'm gonna be using super round and simple numbers just to get the point across. Obviously, you adapt this to the amount that you are taking home and the bills that you have or the savings goals, the debt, etc. that you want to work on. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to break it down into super simple terms as if we were 5 years old. So let's say you make $1,000 a month. Now you can either do a monthly budget or a bi-weekly budget. I like to do it by month just because in my head it's easier to visualize. If you are taking home $1,000 a month, as example, $500 bi-weekly, you are going to write that down. So first things first, write down how much you make. Now this if you have side hustles, etc., I suggest doing it just for your main income. So my paycheck comes from my career. So I don't count my side hustles as my income. I will get to that later. So if you have a main source of income, so your 9 to 5 or whatever you do most of the time to make money, whatever pays your bills, use that as your main source of income. And if it is a bunch of side hustles all put together that equals your main income, do the total of that. Next, you're going to be writing your bills. Always pay your bills first. So your bills need to be paid, and if they are not paid, someone's gonna come knocking on your door. So make sure those bills are paid. You're gonna write down your car payment, you're gonna write down your electricity, you're gonna write down your cell phone, you're gonna write down whatever your bills are. Now, you're also gonna want to, in this process, sort through like, do I really need to pay this bill? Like, is this bill really necessary? Like, do I really need a $25 subscription to whatever magazine that I haven't read in 5 years? Probably not. So take that off. Then I want to sort through all of the bills and see if there's a way that you can minimize them. Once you have them all written down, you can really see how much you're paying for everything, and it's sometimes shocking that we are paying for all these things we had no idea, and a lot of them are just automatic, so they just come out. You have an Apple bill, you have a Netflix bill, you don't even realize what you have until you write it all down. So make sure it's all there on paper or computer, whatever it is, and have it visualized. Next, you're going to write down your debt, a savings goal. So let's say your savings goal or your debt is to pay off $10,000 of whatever, or you want to save $10,000 for whatever. You want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to go on a trip, whatever your savings goal is, write it down. And then you're going to put money towards that goal or towards paying down that debt every paycheck. So we're gonna work on a paycheck basis. You can also work on a monthly basis, whatever works for you. Now this is gonna be the hardest part of this entire video. Live under your means. And I know that we've all heard this before from our parents or grandparents, great-grandparents, live under your means. But it really is true. If you cannot afford a Chanel bag, you are not buying a Chanel bag. If you cannot afford to go to the Bahamas, you are not going to the Bahamas. Don't let influencers or whoever on TikTok fool you. If you cannot afford it, you do not necessarily need it. And you know what? If you do need it, if you are not going to live without it, buy those 5 Stanley Cups, but you won't be able to do X instead. So you won't be able to go to the restaurant once a week like you like to. You won't be able to get your nails done once a month. You won't be able to do certain things if you do other things. I know this sucks to hear, and I know it's a bummer. However, if you do this now, your future self will really thank you. Let's get into the bills. So now that you have your budget and you have all your bills written down, as I said, evaluate what needs to be there and what doesn't, and try to take those things out and write them all in your calendar. Personally, I use my iPhone calendar. I have a whole video on how I organize my phone and stuff and make it super productive. Write down what day your bills are coming out and how much is coming out and what account it's coming out of. So if you have automatic payments, this is especially important, because once you get paid, you want to ensure that the money is in that account when whoever takes it out, when your cell phone company takes it out or when your car company takes it out. You want to make sure that you have money in that account. Automatic payments, in my opinion, work really well because I don't have to remember to pay that bill, and there's no day that my electricity is gonna shut down. There's no day that someone's knocking on my door asking for money because I have paid all the bills. It's coming out automatically. And if you don't trust that system and you want to do it manually, good on you, do that, as long as you know what day what bill is due. I'm gonna take it a step further with you guys, and this is for the OCD girlies. This is what I do personally. Let's say today I get paid, okay? So I made $500 today, and this is gonna last me 2 weeks until my next paycheck. According to our $1,000 a month, I am getting paid today, and I have 2 weeks until my next paycheck. When I get paid, I will go through my calendar and I will look at every single day, and I will know that from today until my next paycheck, how much money is coming out of my account. How many bills do I have? I know exactly that amount because I've written it down, and I will now prepay. Now I know this is crazy, but let's say I know that next Friday I have my insurance coming out for $100 out of my credit card, I will put $100 towards my credit card ahead of time. So when next Friday rolls around and $100 comes out of my credit card, I'm just sitting back, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, and no one's knocking on my door. I know that that is crazy, because it was crazy when I first learned this, when my mom and my aunt were like, yeah, you should do this, you know, you can just relax at that point and you already know how much money's coming out. And it also ensures that you have that money, because if today you get paid and you go shopping and you go wild and you shop till you drop, and next Friday your car company's knocking on your door because you haven't paid your car insurance and you have no more money to pay your car insurance, you're in a pickle. So you want to make sure that you're never in a pickle and all of your bills are paid. Now, what I personally do is I also have a bunch of different bank accounts. So I have the bank account that my paycheck comes to, so my direct deposit, so all of my money comes to this account. We'll call this account 1. So everything comes to account 1. Someone sends me money, it goes to account 1. My great grandpa gives me $20 for my birthday and I deposit it at the bank, it goes into account number 1. And from that account number 1, I will personally, manually go into my bank app and I will transfer money to each account. So my account number 1 is where my bills come out of. So I will leave the exact amount of money that my bills cost until the next paycheck in that bills account. And all of the extra money, so I will deduct that, I'll do a little subtraction. All that extra money I will send to various other accounts. So either I'm gonna prepay my credit card, or I'm gonna save the rest, or I will send it to my financial advisor and invest it. Whatever system I have going on, I will transfer it from that bills account. So everything comes into one spot and then I manually go in and then I have control over all that money. The last situation you wanna be in, my daughter's singing in the back, is the stress of opening your bank account on your phone or on mobile or wherever you're looking at it and be stressed because you haven't looked at it in 2 weeks and you don't want to know how much money you don't have. Ideally, you're in that account every day and you just know mentally how much money you have, and you know that, you know, overnight no scammer came in and took all your money. You just know how much money you have day to day in all of your accounts, and you're just going about your day, going to get your coffee if you can afford it, and, you know, just living your best life. Now, the last category is going to be savings. Now, this is obviously the fun one because you're going to be saving your money for whatever fun excursion or new car or whatever you're saving your money for. This is kind of just a big hut, in my opinion. It's like, this is the account number 2 that has all of the savings, and you can do whatever you want with it, and that's exciting. Make it fun, make it exciting, make it, you know, a game. You can think of the savings as 2 different ways. Now, I'll tell you the one that I like to think about it. The first way to think about it is to save as much as you can, which is what I like to think of it as, because it's saving my money and I feel like I have it, right? If I save it, I have it. The second way to think about it is to live on as little as you can. Now, that one is not as exciting to think about, but if that's the way that helps you, then obviously do it that way. So if you know that from week to week you need, you know, $100 to survive, try to do it on $95, or try to do it on $85. Try to live on as little as you can. Whatever way of thinking helps you, go in that route, as long as it's sustainable. So that's why I say to make it fun. Now, I've heard this a lot of times growing up: if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford to buy it at all. And I also have a friend that used to say, if you have to check the price tag, you can't afford it. So whatever saying works for you. My mom growing up used to always say, take care of your pennies and your dollars will take care of themselves. And see your savings as extra, so extra money. This is where side hustles come in, especially because extra money in my head is anything that is not your main source of income. You have a YouTube channel, extra money. You make beaded bracelets on the side and sell them through Facebook Marketplace, extra money. You find $5 on the floor, extra money. Anything that is not your main source of income, put it into your savings, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just calling it a savings. You can call it car goal. You can, this is also the debt account, so if you have to pay down your debt, this is whatever like other account that you have for the future. Those are the main categories that you're going to want to focus on. Now let's get into the payday routine. So I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but when I get paid, what I do first is pay the bills that are going to be coming out of my account from today until next paycheck. So I make sure that those are taken care of. And then I'm going to go into the savings. So from the savings, this is where I decide what I want to spend my money on. From the savings, this is also where I create like an emergency fund. Like, should my car break down next week, knock on wood, I know that I have X amount in my savings and that can take care of it. I like to lump everything into one. It's just easier for me to physically visualize it instead of like having the emergency fund, having this kind of fund, having a clothing fund, having a whatever other fund. I just like to lump it all in one. And that is also the money that you get to treat yourself, because let's be honest, let's be real, let's be realistic. We can't just save our money. We have to also treat ourselves. So if you want your nails done, treat yourself. If you want your Starbucks every day, treat yourself. If you want to go to Bali because you have been saving and you haven't spent any money on Uber Eats in 6 months, treat yourself. You deserve it. We're all going to not exist one day. So you need to enjoy your life and you need to treat yourself, but do so within your means. So short-term pain for long-term gain is how I see it personally. If my future self is shaking her head, I am not buying what I'm about to buy. Totally impulse buys. Like I'm the queen of impulse buying. However, if I impulse buy, I know that I can afford it. I'm not impulse buying a new Mercedes. If my electricity is gonna cut out this month, I am very realistic and I have a plan, and I know, because I check my bank every day, how much money I have exactly. So I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys want more in depth about anything, or if you have any more questions, definitely leave them in the comment section below. Again, I'm sorry about this little choir in the back, courtesy from Rhea, but that's the reality of being a mom and being a content creator. Definitely drop a like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video, if you like this type of content. Usually I do like lifestyle content, I do beauty, I do cleaning and organizing, but I am definitely wanting to shift my content to budgeting and financial stuff. I feel like I'm very accomplished with what I have done in my life financially for my age, and also for just being like a regular person. As I mentioned, this is no like lottery money. This is not like, this is just from my hard work and my saving strategies. I have been able to accomplish what I've accomplished. So again, if you guys like this type of content, definitely let me know down below. Don't forget to check out my description box. I have all of my socials, discount codes, links to videos, and whatever else you guys are interested in. I also have an Amazon storefront. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.